Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the winner-take-all Game 3 of the simulated FPHL Playoffs Commissioner Cup Final presented by underreview.org. I'm Casey Bryant, bringing you live coverage of tonight's contest between the Elmira Enforcers and Carolina Thunderbirds. Game 1 belonged to the Enforcers on the road as Troy Passingham earned a shutout. Game 2 was a blowout, decisive victory for the Carolina Thunderbirds. What will be in store for us tonight as we head to the virtual Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Annex? Only time will tell, as the winner of tonight's game will earn that coveted, simulated, virtual, elaborate series of ones and zeros known as the Commissioner's Cup. I want to give a quick shout out to my broadcast partners who cannot be with me here this evening, who normally are. Jack O'Mara continues to hunker down in quarantine. We wish the O'Mara family nothing but the best. As for Zach McGinnis, we haven't heard him set off his life alert yet, so we assume that everything is all good in the McGinnis household, so give a special shout out to them. All of our thoughts are with everyone, as we hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. But for now, it's time for virtual hockey here on the Under Review YouTube channel. Let's not waste any time. Let's head right to the action. From the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Annex, it's time for Game 3. It's party time in North Carolina as it's time for puck drop in Game 3 between the Elmira Enforcers and Carolina Thunderbirds. Winner of tonight's contest takes home the virtual trophy. It all comes down to one night. Christian Pavlos will be in goal for the Carolina Thunderbirds. Pavlos has been near unbeatable on home ice, but he was bested by that man in green and white, Troy Passingham, in Game 1, who earned himself a shutout, his second shutout of the postseason. Mafuz, Juric, and Timofeyev out on the top line for the Elmira Enforcers, countered by Bunn, Salak, and Krivolovic. Puck is dropped, away we go. Carolina wearing their alternate black sweaters with white trim. Elmira, meanwhile, wearing their traditional road whites with neon green patterns on the shoulders. Patterson skates in a one-time shot as a glove save by Pavlos, and the first test is passed by the Carolina netminder. A lot will come down to the performance of this top line for the Elmira Enforcers. All they needed really was one late goal in Game 1 to settle things down. Managed to get a 2-0 victory, with the second goal coming with 30 seconds left in the contest. That with a netminder still in goal, as they were able to do a terrific job of keeping Carolina off the puck in the final minute of Game 1. Game 2, well, from the get-go, that was a blowout for the Carolina Thunderbirds, as they were able to ease their way towards an easy victory up in upstate New York. Vlasov is knocked off the puck. Here's now Jan Salak carrying it ahead. Glove save Passingham, and he holds on. 2.5 minutes gone by. Again, ordinarily, games are set up so that the lower seed is the one game, and then the better seed, which in this case would have been Carolina, would have had games 2 and 3, but no regard for the virtual travel. They're going from Carolina to Elmira, back to Carolina, all in the span of 3 days. You're able to charter the best virtual planes. Carrying it ahead on the left side is Elmira. Turning around with it is Hudson Michaelis. Finds Walters. Long slapper goes off the mask of Pavlos. It bounces around in front of him. Now a loose puck will trickle towards the blue paint, where Pavlos will cover up with it. As we take a look at Michael Bunn, who missed a good portion of the regular season with the Carolina Thunderbirds, was called up to the SPHL and had to deal with the suspension as well. It was a coveted piece that was missed for a long period of time, as that long slapper is held once more off the faceoff by Pavlos, and he holds. Carolina lost plenty of members to call-ups, to injuries, to suspensions. They would have lost even more in the regular season, considering the fracas that took place in one of the last weekends of play between the Carolina Thunderbirds and Columbus River Dragons. Carrying it ahead now, Panachik with a shot that goes off a defensive leg. Here's Batida. Setting it up and fanning on the one-time shot over on the far side was Martin. Martin gets the puck back, feeds Panachik, he scores! Peter Panachik gets the Thunderbirds on the board, it's 1-0. There's that automatic play once again. Feed that right-handed shot between the hash marks from the wall. That is the easiest way to score in these simulated games. If you were to make a drinking game out of that particular play, you would be dead. And Panachik sends this virtual crowd into a frenzy. The flock did not see a goal on home ice in Game 1. That script has already been reversed as here's Pargach carrying it ahead on the right side. Pargach looking towards the next back pass. Long shot is gloved out of the air by Passingham, and he holds. It didn't take long, and Peter Panachik and Jan Salak have been two automatic players for the Carolina Thunderbirds in this postseason. The two of them have been producing at such a high clip. Here's Pargach on the far side wall, gets it back out to the point. Kenny feeds Osaka. Osaka back to Pastuca now in the high slot. Kenny long shot through traffic, saved by Passingham, and he covers it up, and it will be another offensive zone draw for Carolina. Well, this is the strength of the Carolina Thunderbirds, is that they are able to maintain possession for such long periods of time. It was much more evident in the regular season, and something that really a lot of credit belongs to Andre Nitsch, in that he's able to play a very Soviet style of play, where if you don't necessarily have the play right in front of you, you're able to move laterally, move backwards. It's all about just keeping possession of the puck, and it's what made them so dangerous and what caused those shot totals to be so slanted in the regular season. It didn't matter who the opponent really was. Even in games in which they lost, the shot totals were often slanted towards the Thunderbirds, as they could just pepper the opposing goaltender at will with a high number of shots. Carrying it ahead on the right side is Babenko. Babenko is swarmed by black sweaters. He's forced into the corner. Retains possession of the puck, now takes a step in, banks it off the boards, and taking a step in is Cameron Yarwood. Yarwood loses the handle on it, and Carolina able to dig it out. Turnover in front. Shot goes into the catching glove of Pavlos. Almost a careless pass there from the Carolina defense. And you get a stoppage of play as Elmira finally is able to force an offensive zone draw. They'll be sending out Harrison with Pease to his left and Tucker to his right. Won by the Thunderbirds, though, as Grebennikov gets it back to Vlasov, who carries it ahead. Grebennikov crosses the opposing blue line. Glides to his right, pursued by Patterson. Puck is knocked off his stick. Now Patterson will pick it up, wrap it around the perimeter of the boards, and it will be Tucker picking it up and sending it across the ice. Harrison entering ahead, waiting for reinforcements. Stops short in the corner, set up in front. That's a glove save. Pavlos at point-blank range. Halfway through this first period, 1-0 is your score in favor of the Thunderbirds, but now Elmira seems to be getting their footing underneath them. Stevens, Michaelis, and Essery will take the attacking zone draw. Panachik opposite them. Won by the Enforcers. Minnie takes a step in, over to Essery on the near side circle. Minnie, former member of the Battle Creek Rumblebees, whose lone win came against these same Elmira Enforcers. And one of the Game of the Year candidates, really, in the FPHL season. On the right side, hops off the stick of Martin. He's in behind the end line, has two Enforcer sweaters surrounding him. Essery digs the puck out, turnover in front. Essery is able to get it up to Stevens on the right wing. Crosses the blue line as men streaking in the high slot to Essery. Back to Stevens, squares to the net, kisses it off the glass. Bouncing puck goes into the near side corner now, where a flying hit knocks a man down. Carrying it ahead as Bakor, delayed penalty, will be coming up against the Enforcers, presumably for that flying elbow, and there's a shot and they score. On the delayed penalty, it's Panachik. And the Thunderbirds lead it 2-0. Panachik takes that feed from Klinitsky. Klinitsky stops short in the near side circle, far side circle, and is able to set up the right-handed shot in the slot. How do you like that? So Panachik stays red hot for the Carolina Thunderbirds, and he gives the Flock a 2-0 lead over Elmira. Well, multi-goal deficits are incredibly hard to overcome with this Carolina squad. They're able to control the pace of play so well, even at the virtual level. So if Elmira is going to come back, they're going to need to find an answer in a hurry. And it will be up to this top line that you see out in front of you. Tyler Jurich, Ahmed Mahfouz, and Stepan Timofeyev. Looking down low, Krivolovic picks up the puck and sends it back over to Vlasov, who quickly loops it around and gets it up the ice. Here's Salak looking to the net. That one's gloved out of the air by Passingham, and he holds with 5:12 to go in the first. Faceoff will be to Passingham's left. Harrison and Osaka in the dot. Tied up, kicked over to the left wing where no one wants it. Okay, it's sitting there perfectly still. 4 men were skating around. No one wanted to go near it. It looked as if someone tossed a live grenade onto the ice, and everyone was looking around wondering who was going to dive on it and save their troop mates. The answer, no one. They are all cowards. Onto the corner it goes in the Carolina end. Here's Pargach on the right side. Pargach crosses in front of the Elmira bench. Stops short, long wrist shot saved by Passingham, bouncing around in front. Pargach picks up the loose change, and it will be a delayed penalty coming up against the Elmira Enforcers. We'll take another look at the penalty on the replay. As Pargach was going into the corner, and he took a stick up on the chin. So it'll be Kyler Matthews. Honestly, I would have been content tossing Matthews into the sin bin just for having the name Kyler, but that's just me. Into the near side corner of the Carolina end it goes as Bakhor picks up the puck. Bakhor with a two-line pass, finds a man on the left wing. It's Jan Salak, charging ahead, finds Panachik. His shot is a pad save by Passingham. Backhanded up into the air where Klinitsky will glove it down. Now on the left side is Michael Bunn. Bunn met by Patterson, who strips him clean of the puck, and Jurich is able to lift it down the length of the ice, where Pavlos will come out and settle it down. 45 seconds to go in the power play, 2 minutes to go in the first. Here's Jan Salak. On the left side, set up in front, Panachik was gunning for the hat trick, and Passingham is able to stone him cold. Now here's Bunn, set up for Bakhor. Off the end boards, lively bounce goes into the skates of Salak. He's able to regain possession. Set up in front, looking for Panachik. Shot blocked in front. Pinball puck goes out to Panachik. Final minute of play here in the first period. Back to 5-on-5 hockey as Minnie takes the puck away for the Elmira Enforcers and finds Kyler Matthews. Matthews ambles over towards the right wall. Keeping possession, looping around, looking for the backhand stuff and try on the far side post, and Pavlos is up to the task. Matthews was able to get some oomph behind that backhander as no one was really impeding his progress towards the net. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ice, Passingham came out with a big one-time stop on Panachik as he went barreling into the netminder. Pair of fourth lines out there for both sides as 19 seconds remain in the first period with 2-0 your score in favor of the Thunderbirds. Here's Kenny on the right side. Puck taken away by Babenko. It will pop out into the neutral zone. Final seconds of the period will tick away, and that will do it. Peter Panachik has 2. The Elmira Enforcers have 0. 40 minutes remain in the Commissioner's Cup Final Game 3. Do the Elmira Enforcers have an answer on the road, or will the Thunderbirds win back-to-back Commissioner's Cups? We'll be back for coverage of the second period on the Under Review YouTube channel. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Well, many of the vital statistics were dead even in that first period. Shots were in favor of Carolina just 9-8. Time on attack in favor of Carolina 307 to 306. On paper, it was a very even back and forth north-south first period. But Peter Panachik has been the difference for the folks in black and red. Here's Krivolovic entering back in as the Thunderbirds skate from left to right on your YouTube screen, and there's a Stan Vlasov wrist shot that's gloved out of the air with some emphasis by Troy Passingham. Well, for someone like myself, who is from the Northeast and is an employee, really, of the Danbury FPHL franchise, I can't help but notice plenty of familiar faces around the rink on both sides, as Vlasov himself is a former member of the Danbury Whalers, joined up in the FHL after the Whalers won their Commissioner's Cup and played in the Commissioner's Cup final in 2014, where he played against Ahmed Mahfouz. And the Elmira Enforcers, Ahmed Mahfouz, after the Danbury Whalers held a 2-game lead. Mahfouz had a hat trick in the decisive Game 5 to win the cup for the Dayton Demons. Tyler Jurich, also a former Danburian out there for Elmira, as he played for the Danbury Titans in 2015-16, where he played against, for the Brewster Bulldogs, Jan Salak. Out to the near side point, Patterson wires it over to the far side. No one's home. Krivolovic the first to get there. He chips it out into the neutral zone. Gino Mini. Jurich now has the puck. Slides it over to his former foe-turned-friend, Ahmed Mahfouz. Run off by Stan Vlasov up to the right side. Krivolovic finds John Butita, the former mentor icebreaker. Krivolovic out to Michael Bunn in the high slot to Klinitsky. Playing keep away, trying to feed Bunn in the slot. Fanned on the shot attempt. Another attempt by Klinitsky is rejected out at the blue line. Now another trailing slapper by Klinitsky is finally gloved down and held and frozen by Passingham. A flurry of shot attempts off the stick of the Carolina Thunderbirds. As we take another look at the long shot by Tyler Jurich that was kicked out with the left toe by Christian Pavlos. Jurich has been quiet on the road here in Carolina. Jurich and Mahfouz were a near unstoppable force in the realm of the living. Jurich came over in a blockbuster 5-player trade. Approaching the trade deadline, came over from the Watertown Wolves, as there's a long shot gloved out of the air by Pavlos. That trade really kind of turned the Eastern Division on its head. After the Watertown Wolves dealt away Tyler Jurich, they turned around and acquired Ryan Marker from the Delaware Thunder. And Marker is a terrific player, and it hindered the Delaware Thunder, who then at the trade deadline tried to replace Marker by acquiring Parker Moskal from the Columbus River Dragons. So really it was just kind of a revolving door of elite scorers in the FHL around that trade time, and we never really got to have a look at Parker Moskal in a Delaware uniform, as after the trade was completed, it was time to shut down the league. On the left side, turning away with the puck are the Enforcers. Now a long slapper goes off the glass. Here's Tucker now on the far side post. That's turned out by Pavlos. It would have been very interesting in the first round, considering that Delaware likely would have caught up, as here's a shot by Pargach in close that's stopped. Considering the Delaware Thunder probably would have eclipsed the Mentor Icebreakers in the standings, there would have been at least one elite scorer where you have to keep your eyes on them at all times, really on every single team in the playoffs. Delaware would have had Moskal, Watertown would have had Marker, Elmira would have had really their entire top line of Michaelis, Mahfouz, and Jurich, and even some depth players really too that you can't help but keep your eye on, like Tucker. And then of course you have the top-seeded Danbury Hat-Tricks, who were able to roll really 3 high-quality lines. But the dynamic duo up top of Carter Shinkarik and Shane Morrissey was likely their most potent threat. Bakor to Klinitsky. 10.5 minutes to go in the second period. Here's Grebenikov. Hunting for some more insurance goals, as here's a glove save by Passingham. Carolina leads by 2. They would love to get just one more to provide a bit of breathing room for their goaltender Christian Pavlos. Grebenikov with the attempt there on the far side post was able to sneak by Matthews and get a pair of chances off, really. He got one shot by the post and another out in the slot. Panachik with Batita to his left and Martin to his right. Walters up to Stevens. It's knocked off his stick, and the Thunderbirds will have to re-rack. Bakor on the right side, up to Panachik. Panachik to the high slot looking for Martin. Martin forced off the puck by Stevens. Now gets it over to Bakor. To Klinitsky, back to Bakor. Quick passing at the Carolina blue line. Bakor glides to his left, back to the net. Finds Martin, who chips it down low, looking to cycle it down for Panachik. Goes off of the padding of Passingham. Mini stuffs it right underneath his goaltender. And Passingham freezes the puck. Gino Mini perhaps a bit confused where he was supposed to shoot that one as he tried tucking it in under the right pads of his own netminder. Babenko in the dot for Elmira opposite Osaka. Red line, blue line, entering in is Novosel. Finds Babenko on the right side. Babenko has Vlasov in front of him. Back to the point. 7.5 to go in the second period. Yarwood to Novosel. Down low for Hussey. Long shot by Yarwood. No, says Cangelosi. Yarwood to Patterson at the near side point. Out to Yarwood. Long slapper redirected in front. Not sure that ever got through to Pavlos. Now here's Hussey once more. Bumped into by Cangelosi. Is still able to wire it down low. Now flicking it out over towards the right side, where it'll be picked up by Pargach for Carolina. Pargach. Osaka is taken down to the ice, and Elmira is able to get it up the ice to Mafuz. Mafuz with Patterson to his left, finds him. Back to Mafuz. Pass broken up. Terrific back check there. Another setup in front, and that's a save by Pavlos. Hussey fanning on the slapper at the blue line was Gino Mini. Mini once more, finds Walters, back to Mini, has a man in front of him, shot through traffic, gloved out of the air by Pavlos. Not sure that would have found the back of the net, that might have been heading wide. As that was a great chance in front for the Elmira Enforcers. Mafuz had a man standing right in front. Just couldn't chip it past the Carolina netminder Pavlos, who has been so far up to the task and has stopped every shot thrown his way. That is the danger of the Carolina Thunderbirds, especially at home, is that for how dynamic and how high octane their offense is able to produce, it's really their defense and their goaltender that makes them so unbeatable, because you can't even really get into their shootout mentality of just trading goals. At least you can when you have a 95 overall goaltender in net like Christian Pavlos. They have had a rotating sort of cycle of netminders in goal this season. There's a setup in front covered up by Pavlos, as earlier in the year you had Jacob Mullen taking the reins for Carolina for such a long period of time. Even Kelly Curl made a couple of appearances for the Carolina Thunderbirds, their color commentator. You also can't forget about the contributions of Patrick Polivka to this group, as Polivka in goal for the Thunderbirds was 11-2, had a 2.23 goals against average and a 9.12 save percentage. I mean, as a netminder for this team, he was excellent. Up comes Salak, looking across the way to Krivolovic. Puck rolls off of his stick. 2-minute warning gone by here in the second period. Now Elmira coming the other way. Elmira still looking to break through the dam of Christian Pavlos and get on the board. Michaelis' shot is forced wide by Bakor. Bakor rattles it around the perimeter of the boards. Elmira keeps it in the zone. Looking to chip it down low, taken away by Carolina. One last rush opportunity for the Birds. Salak in the far side corner. Here's Bunt. Set up in front. Errant pass goes out to Fate. His shot is blocked out into the neutral zone. And that will just about do it for the second period. 2-0 is your score at the end of 2 periods. The Carolina Thunderbirds 1 period away from their second consecutive Commissioner's Cup title. Will the Elmira Enforcers be able to stage a comeback and flip history to stave off the same result as last season, runners-up in the FPHL season, or will it be more of Birdemic shock and terror as Carolina takes home their second title? We'll be back for coverage of the final 20 minutes on the Under Review YouTube channel. "20 minutes separate us from the conclusion of the FPHL season. 3 goals are necessary for the Elmira Enforcers to take home the title. 20 minutes of solid defense are all the Carolina Thunderbirds need. Up to Timofeyev, whose name has not been called very much. Here's Juric taking a step in. Open lane to the net, never really got a shot off. Just skated the puck into the pads of Pavlos. Interesting strategy there for number 22. Loose puck out in front. Here's Vlasov, bumped into by Mafuz. Mafuz trying to be checked off the puck by Salak. Mafuz picks it up and powers it ahead. Mafuz on the right side. Sets it up for Juric. Now to Yarwood. To Patterson in the high slot. That long shot is gloved down by Pavlos. Well, the FPHL season may be coming to an end, but that doesn't mean that you won't have more simulated FPHL action coming your way, courtesy of the Under Review YouTube channel, as the Under Review has officially announced that they will be conducting an All-Star game. And you can be on the lookout for that. Be sure to follow at the Under Review on Twitter, log on to underreview.org, and subscribe to Under Review's YouTube channel for further updates on the FPHL season, as they do still have more content coming your way even after the season is concluded. Here's Vlasov up the left side, looking for Batida, crosses over to Martin. Martin, back pass for Panacek. Vlasov to Bakor, takes a step in, winds and fires, and a flashy glove save by Passingham, and as he holds, 3.5 minutes gone by in the third. Elmira will need to get possession of the puck back on their sticks. They're just having too much of a difficult time getting the puck out of their own end. At the very least, in the first game of this series, Elmira was able to capitalize on their rush opportunities. There's a shot that gets blocked in front. They were far more opportunistic and efficient in their rush chances. In this one, they haven't been able to solve Christian Pavlos, and really, they haven't had too much time to cycle the puck in the attacking zone. Klinitsky, down low, Osaka, wrist shot, glove save, Passingham, and he holds. It's getting late early for the Elmira enforcers here. Osaka will be on the dot with Bargach to his right, Cangelosi to his left. One back clean by Carolina. Bargach looking for Cangelosi. He was tied up by Matthews. Harrison up the right side. Here's Tucker. Tucker stops short in front of Klinitsky. Skating around, finds Matthews at the blue line. Shot save Pavlos. Rebound bouncing around in front, and Pavlos is able to cover it up. That's a better job, at least, by Elmira, as Pease was planting himself in front of the opposing netminder. You do want to try and take the goaltender's eyes away, regardless of whether it is real hockey or virtual hockey. Your chances of scoring exponentially increase if you're able to take the goaltender's eyes away and screen it, even if the goaltender doesn't truly have eyes like these goaltenders do. Novosel over to Hussey on the left side. Hussey skates away from the check of Holt. Puck is loose, taken away by Pestuka. Carolina back the other way in transition. Here's Holt, slides it over to Kenny, takes a few steps in. Kenny squares to the net. That shot turned out by Passingham. Into the near side corner it goes. Here's Carter. He's puck picked up by Babenko. Babenko back pass now. Waiting, looking for a chance down low. Babenko sends it into the corner where Hussey holds. Hussey is checked by Grebennikov. He draws the penalty. Grebennikov will go off, likely for either a hook or a high stick. As here's Novosel, holding onto it between the hash marks, skates away from a defender. Carter out to Yarwood, long slapper, blocked in front. Loose over at the far side post. It will be touched up by Carolina, and it will in fact be a high stick assessed against the Carolina Thunderbirds. Grebennikov will go off. That was a terrific shift there by Virtual Hussey, as he was able to take a stick to his face and still able to keep the possession of the puck alive, cycle it around the attacking zone, and though they were not able to get too many shots to the netminder, they were at least able to grind the defense down to the point where you might have been able to force them into a mistake had the shift extended. They will have a 2-minute power play and perhaps the best opportunity all game to get on the board. Here's Timofeyev. Trying to get around Osaka. Osaka cuts him off and sends it out into the neutral zone, and the Elmira enforcers will hit the reset button. Here's Mafuz on the left side to Juric. Juric long shot, elbow save by Pavlos. Out to the point, Yarwood. To Mafuz, Juric to Mafuz on the doorstep. His shot turned out Pavlos. Timofeyev is planting himself in front of the net. Patterson high slot, long slapper off the glass. Hard shot by Yarwood, just couldn't find the 6x4 opening. Passingham aggressively out into the corner to stop the puck. Yarwood picks it up, glides ahead, keeping the feet moving, finds Timofeyev. Spins away from a defender. Power play has expired. Juric in the corner as we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Carolina has just 8.5 minutes to go. On the right side, taking it ahead. Shot saved by Passingham. Bunn picks it up. Bund over to the far side point. Fate looking down low. Bund picks it up. Here's Martin. Carolina playing hot potato with the puck. A shot gets redirected out into the corner. Here's Bund. Bund gets it to Martin. His shot sent high and wide. Bund with 7 minutes to go. Here's Holt. Down low to Batista. Back out to Martin. His long shot gloved and held by Passingham. And these are the shifts that we're talking about here, where Elmira is able to keep possession of the puck for while it's 5-on-4, but at 5-on-5 they have been used and abused here by the Carolina forwards. They're simply winning too many puck battles. They've been too quick jumping on those loose pucks in the corners. And time is winding down for the Enforcers. They need to average basically a goal every 3.5 minutes at this point. Michael is carrying it up the left side. Michaelis looks to the net, elbow save Pavlos. Vlasov up ice, Batista to Martin. Martin has it on his backhand, drops it back for Vlasov, trailing slapper by Fate. Gloved and held by Passingham. Passingham has done his bit to keep the Enforcers in the game after giving up 2 first-period goals. Neither of which really Passingham could do anything about. It's just that's the bread and butter play in the NHL simulation. Passes from the right wing to the slot where a right-handed one-timer awaits. Harrison chips the puck over to the left side. Here's Fate. Loose puck in front, bouncing around, picked up by Martin. Martin skates out, shot fought off by Passingham. Under 5 minutes to go here in the third period. 2-0 is your score in favor of the Thunderbirds in Game 3 of the Commissioner's Cup Final. Here's Salak on the right side. Salak trailing one-timer, they score! Michael Bund! Carolina may have just sheathed the dagger. It's 3-0. And that is Bane breaking Batman's back as Michael Bund with the hard one-time shot to put them up 3 goals with 4 minutes to play. And the celebration may be able to begin a bit early here in Winston-Salem. And it's only fitting that one of the best players in Thunderbirds franchise history is the one to be able to put this one out of reach. Carolina will keep possession of the puck and just flick it around the attacking zone. A long shot is gloved and held by Passingham with 3:13 to go. And every second brings us closer to the inevitable. Salak with a shot off the faceoff that's sent wide. Passingham might have gotten a piece of it. Well, what a ride it has been for the Carolina Thunderbirds all season long. They regularly dominated most every team in the FPHL, most every team except for really the Beasts of the East, the Danbury Hat-Tricks, who went 6-1 against the Carolina Thunderbirds this season. In this simulation, Carolina never got to face the Danbury Hat-Tricks as the Hat-Tricks were bounced in the first round by the virtual Watertown Wolves. Elmira was able to cruise past Watertown in the Eastern Division Final. Carolina solved the Port Huron Prowlers. And now here in Game 3, after Elmira shut down the Carolina Thunderbirds in Game 1, Passingham notched a shutout, a 2-0 victory. Elmira put only 1 goal up in Game 2. And here they are blanked in Game 3 with 40 seconds to go. Pavlos will cover up the puck. And that'll really be the story of this simulation, is that the Elmira Enforcers offense, one of the highest rated really in the league. They traded for Tyler Jurich, they added Stepan Timofeyev at the halfway point of the season, and their offense went bone dry. Babenko, Novosel, and Hussey will be out for the final 37.8 seconds of regulation time. One back by Patterson. Patterson to Novosel, out to Yarwood. 30 seconds to go. Long trailing shot goes off the end boards and picked up by Kenny. And really, that's been the story of this entire game. Elmira really only gets one look to the net before Carolina is able to escape. Their possession play really uglier than the Cats' movement. 15 seconds to go. Countdown on in Winston-Salem. Pargatch over to the right side, Cangelosi. Hussey takes it away. He's glued against the boards. 2 seconds and 1. That will do it. A shutout in Game 3 for Christian Pavlos. The Carolina Thunderbirds have won the Commissioner's Cup. The party is on in Winston-Salem. The Elmira Enforcers, for the second consecutive year, fall just short. And Carolina gets a pair of goals from Peter Panachik. The put-away goal scored by Michael Bunn in the third period. Pavlos comes up with a huge shutout. And this season ends with a Carolina Commissioner's Cup. Well, if nothing else, we want to sincerely thank everyone at the Under Review for putting this together. Because, you know, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. It is fun, at least, just to see these names, see the jersey likenesses, and it's been fun to debate player rankings and whether or not certain teams would have won certain games. And it's just keeping the sport of hockey alive in these uncertain times that really we owe the Under Review crew a great deal of gratitude, because this took a lot of time to put together. One might say an unreasonable amount of time. As Pavlos comes over as the Conn Smythe victor for the Carolina Thunderbirds. In particular, I believe it was Graham Tuck who really did the majority of the player rankings for the Under Review, and for Graham's efforts, there really are no adjectives, because in truth, simultaneously you want to be able to say, wow, that's really cool, and wow, how do you not have more hobbies? And we won't say anything about the fact that most of the Under Review crew are employees of the Carolina Thunderbirds, because that would be wrong to bring that up in the time of a Carolina Thunderbirds celebration. It would be petty of me to bring that up. Who am I, really, to point out that flaw as the Carolina Thunderbirds hoist the cup? I mean, it's pure coincidence, I'm sure. I'm not here to espouse any conspiracy theories. I tease, of course, as Salak gets to hoist the trophy and carry it around the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Annex. Again, thank you very much to everyone for tuning in to this simulated season, and be sure to be on the lookout for future FPHL simulated action on the Under Review channel. The Under Review will be staging an all-star game a bit later on. A chance to see more of your favorite players. If you thought their season was done, well, you'll be able to see their names called a few more times. As we get a few more shots of the cup being hoisted around, Panachik, who had himself a pair of goals in Game 3, will be able to carry it around. Well, I've seen about all I can stomach as a Danbury employee. All I can say is we'll always have Bloomington. Well, for all of us here in the simulated FPHL world, I'm Casey Bryant saying, have a very pleasant good evening, everyone. Please stay healthy, please stay safe, stay indoors, and we'll be seeing you all around a hockey rink very, very soon. Take care, thank you, have a good night.